You felt it, haven't you? That flicker in your chest. That sudden wave of warmth or chill that rolls over your skin when the room is still. You tell yourself it's nothing, a passing thought, a breath of wind, a trick of the mind. But deep down, something within you knows. You're not imagining it. You're not making it up. She's been trying to reach you, your mother. Even now, after all this time, she hasn't left your side. Not fully, not ever. Because her love wasn't just of this world, it was eternal. The kind of love that refuses to die even when the body does. The kind that finds cracks in the veil between worlds just to whisper your name. And lately, her whispers have grown louder. There's a reason you're here, reading this, listening to this, absorbing this message with your full attention. You didn't stumble here by accident. She's guided you. She's been nudging you gently, whispering from beyond, doing everything in her power to get you to listen. Because there's something she needs you to know, something urgent, something sacred, something only you can hear. This is not just a message. This is a visitation, a soul-to-soul encounter. Do you remember that night you woke up at 3:17 a.m., heart pounding, tears in your eyes with no memory of a dream? That wasn't a dream. That was her, sitting at the edge of your bed, brushing her spirit fingers across your hair like she used to when you were small. You felt her presence, even if your mind tried to deny it. You felt her warmth, even though the room was cold. She's been trying to prepare you, gently, patiently, for what's to come. But you've been busy, distracted, lost in the noise of everyday life. And she understands that. She knows how heavy the world has felt. But still, she keeps showing up. In the scent of roses that lingers in your room. In the song that comes on the radio just as you're about to give up. In the stranger who smiles at you and says, "You remind me of someone." She's in all of it because her spirit is alive and it's reaching for you. This chapter, this moment, is not just a beginning. It's a turning point. She has a message for you, and she's been begging for you to listen. But first, you need to silence the world, breathe, be still, because the voice of the Spirit doesn't shout, it whispers. And only when you are quiet enough, open enough, and ready enough will you hear the words she's been aching to tell you. You are not alone. You have never been alone. And now, it's time to listen. The day she left, the world changed its color. You remember where you were, don't you? The exact angle of the sunlight, the heaviness in your chest, the way time slowed, like the universe itself was holding its breath. Maybe it came without warning, or maybe you watched her fade little by little. But either way, when she took her last breath, something inside you shattered. And for a moment you believed it was the end, but you were wrong. What ended that day wasn't her love. It wasn't her presence. It wasn't the bond the two of you had spent a lifetime building. What ended was only her form, her vessel. The rest of her, the parts of her that mattered, they stayed. They stayed so fiercely, so unshakably, that even death couldn't drag her away. You've been carrying the ache of her loss like a second heartbeat, quiet, constant, unspoken. Others think you've moved on, but what they don't see is the way you still pause at her old recipes, the way your hand still reaches for your phone when something big happens, the way you smile when you pass her favorite flower in a field, and how quickly that smile turns to tears. You haven't let go because she hasn't. On the day her body was laid to rest, her spirit rose, and it followed you home. It sat in the empty seat beside you in the car. It lingered in the hallway where you used to talk. It curled around your pillow, just like she did when you were a child. She didn't go far. How could she? You are the beating heart she left behind. If you've ever wondered why you feel her strongest in the quiet moments, it's because her soul now speaks through stillness. The silence between your thoughts is where she lives, in the gentleness of early morning, in the hush just before sleep, In the hush between breaths, she's there. You may have tried to be strong for others. You've worn a brave face, gone back to work, held your composure at gatherings. But inside, there's been a wound no one else could see. She sees it. She's been watching. And more than anything, she's been aching to reach across the veil and wrap you in the comfort she gave so freely in life. But there's something more now. A message she couldn't give you before she left. A truth she's been holding, even in spirit, and time is running out to deliver it. That's why she hasn't let go. That's why you're here. Because what was left unsaid on the day she died is finally ready to be spoken, and she's chosen you to hear it. They were never coincidences. The flickering lights, the sudden scent of her perfume when no one else was around, the radio playing her song just as you were thinking about giving up. You brushed them off. You told yourself it was just your imagination, or maybe the universe playing tricks. But she knows you better than that. And she's been leaving these signs for longer than you realize. Because when love like hers crosses the veil, it doesn't whisper in riddles. It speaks in patterns. Remember that photo frame that fell for no reason? You picked it up, heart racing, and there she was, smiling back at you. That wasn't gravity. That was her. Or the time you lost something important, panicked, turned the whole house upside down, and then suddenly found it in a place you'd already checked 5 times. That wasn't luck. That was her guiding your hand. She's been trying to get your attention, reaching through time, space, and sorrow. Because what she needs to say can't wait any longer. But here's the thing. She knows how overwhelmed you've been. She's seen you juggling pain and responsibilities, holding everyone else together while quietly falling apart yourself. She knows the world doesn't give you time to grieve properly, so instead of shouting, she's been showing. Softly, patiently, repeatedly. 11:11 on the clock. Her name overheard in conversations between strangers. A feather on your windshield. A breeze that brushes your cheek when the air is still. These aren't random. These are reminders. Markers along the path she's trying to lead you down. And every time you notice them, every time your heart jumps and whispers, could that be her? It is. But the most powerful signs haven't come from outside. They've come from within. That tightness in your chest when you think of her, that's not just grief. That's her presence pressing against your spirit, urging you to listen. That sudden calm that washes over you when you're at your breaking point, that's her strength flowing through you. That gut feeling telling you not to go, or to call someone, or to trust your instinct. That's her voice, still guiding you like she always did. You've called it intuition. You've called it memories. But now it's time to call it what it truly is. A connection. Unbroken. Eternal. Real. She's been speaking all along. But her message is growing more urgent because the moment is drawing near. A spiritual shift is happening. And she needs you to be ready. She needs you to finally hear what she's been trying to say, what she couldn't say in her final moments. It's time to stop dismissing the signs, because when the spirit world speaks, it doesn't repeat itself forever. This message wasn't meant for everyone. It wasn't meant to be spoken in a crowded room, whispered through a medium, or shouted into the void of the internet. No, this message, her message, was crafted for you and you alone, like a handwritten letter folded into your soul before you were even born. She's waited patiently, fiercely, lovingly for you to be ready. And now, you are. Because only you would understand the weight of her silence. Only you would recognize her in the small, quiet signs. Only you could carry what she's about to reveal. Because you were the one she trusted most, even when she couldn't say it. This message has urgency, but not the kind that breeds panic. It's not fear-driven, it's soul-driven. It's the urgency of a mother who sees something coming, something you need to be ready for. A moment of truth, a turning point in your life, and if you miss it, everything could shift. She's not here to scare you. She's here to awaken you, because the path you're standing on, it's not the one you were meant to stay on. She sees the weight on your back, the wounds you've hidden so well, the choices you're afraid to make, and she knows you've reached the edge of something big, a change, a decision, a new chapter that's both terrifying and sacred. That's why her message is reaching you now, because timing in the spirit world is no accident. They don't speak until the heart is ready to hear, and yours finally is. But she also knows that you carry guilt. Maybe you weren't there in her final moments. Maybe you left words unsaid. Maybe you were angry, or tired, or too young to understand what she was going through. She wants you to hear this clearly, so there's no confusion. She forgives you, she never blamed you, and she never, ever left you, not even for a second. Her love didn't fade with her body. It expanded, it became limitless. And now that love is pushing through the veil, wrapped around one sacred truth, she needs you to receive. There is something only you can complete. Something she started in this life but could not finish. And now it rests with you. You may not understand it yet. That's okay. Her message is like a candle in a dark room. The more you sit with it, the brighter it will burn. But first, you must accept that this is real, that she is with you, that everything leading to this moment was not random. It was divine orchestration. She chose you to receive this because your soul is strong enough, your heart is deep enough, and your life is still unwritten. Get ready. Her truth is coming.
She didn't say it out loud,
Not in words, but you knew it, in the way her eyes lingered on you just a little longer than anyone else, in the way she let you see her softer sides, even when the world only saw her strength, in the way she reached for your hand when she was afraid, even when she pretended to be brave. She trusted you more than anyone, even when you were young, especially then. You were her safe place, and now she's yours. You might have questioned it at times, wondered if she truly saw you, understood you, believed in you. Maybe you clashed, maybe you pulled away, maybe you told yourself she trusted someone else more. But no, deep in her soul, you were always the one she could lean on, the one who watched without judgment, the one whose presence made her feel less alone in a world that didn't always love her the way she deserved. And now, in spirit, she's chosen you again, because the trust she placed in you didn't vanish with her final breath. It deepened, it matured, it evolved into something eternal, something spiritual. And now that trust is calling you to something bigger, to listen, to carry, to finish what she started. She knows what you've been through, the heartbreaks you never told anyone about, the way you've held your pain behind a smile, the times you felt like giving up. She's seen all of it, and she knows the world hasn't always been kind to you. But even in those moments, especially in those moments, her spirit wrapped around you. You thought you were surviving on your own, but her love was holding you together when you didn't know how to hold yourself. She's proud of you, more than you'll ever understand. Not because you've done everything right, not because you've figured it all out, but because you kept going, because you dared to feel even when it hurt, because you've stayed soft even when life tried to harden you. That softness, that empathy, is part of what made her trust you in the first place. You see things in people that others miss. You feel more deeply than you admit. And that gift, that sensitivity, is exactly what this moment requires. That's why she's come to you, not a sibling, not a friend, not a partner. You, because her story isn't finished, and she knows that only someone with your heart can carry the final chapter forward. Not with grand gestures, not with perfection, but with truth, with presence, with grace. She's not asking you to be a savior. She's just asking you to remember that you were always the one she trusted most.
And now, she's trusting you again.
There's a room in your home, or maybe just a corner, where the air feels different. You've walked past it 100 times. Maybe you even sit there daily. But today, take a closer look. Not with your eyes, with your spirit. Because that space, it holds her. It breathes her. It remembers her. And she still visits it. It might be the kitchen where she once stood humming to herself, the chair by the window she always loved, the hallway where her scent still lingers. It might not be a place at all, but a moment, like the way sunlight pours across your bed at exactly 4:13 p.m. every afternoon. That light, she's in it. She hasn't stopped coming back, not because she's stuck, but because love returns, again and again. This room, this sacred space, acts like a spiritual portal, a place where time bends and energy lingers, where grief and memory mix into something holy. You may have dismissed it before, the chills, the sudden warmth, the sense that someone else is in the room, but it wasn't imagination. It was her, sitting, watching, loving you still. She's been leaving energy there for you to find. Maybe you felt drawn to it without knowing why. Maybe you've cried there without understanding the reason. Maybe it's where you've had your clearest thoughts, your deepest aches. That's no accident. Her spirit gathers there because she knows you'll come. And she hopes that one day you'll sit long enough to listen. She visits not to haunt, but to heal. There's peace in her presence now, not the silence of absence, but the silence of presence, a stillness that fills rather than empties. She's not trying to drag you into the past. She's here to show you how deeply she's woven into your present, into your breath, into your becoming. And if you sit quietly in that room, in that space, you might hear her, not in words, but in feelings, a memory flooding back, a warmth spreading through your chest, an image in your mind that makes you smile through tears. That's her language now. Energy, emotion, echoes. She leaves you strength there. Every time you feel like you can't carry on, return to that space. Close your eyes. Feel your feet on the ground. Breathe slowly and whisper to her. She hears you. She's always heard you. And though she may not answer in the way you expect, her reply will find you, in peace, in clarity, in a sudden knowing that you are not alone. The room may be simple, but it's sacred now, because it's where her love gathers, where her spirit lingers, where she still visits. Just to remind you, she never truly left. There were things she wanted to say, things she rehearsed in the quiet moments when no one was around. But life moved too fast, and the end came too soon. So the words stayed stuck, not because she didn't feel them, but because she didn't know how to fit something so vast into such little time. Some truths are too big for breath. You might think you knew everything. You might believe nothing was left unsaid, but you felt it, haven't you? That hollow space inside you where a final conversation was supposed to live. The lingering ache of something unfinished. That wasn't your imagination. That was her spirit holding on to a message she never got to speak. She wanted to tell you she saw you, even in the moments you thought she was too tired or too distracted. She noticed the way you kept showing up, the way you tried to be strong for her, the way you laughed just a little louder to keep the heaviness out of the room. She noticed. She appreciated it more than you'll ever know. And she wanted to apologize, not for dying, not for leaving, but for the times she made you feel like you had to be stronger than you were, for the times she snapped when she was scared, for the things she didn't explain when you were too young to understand. She carried guilt for the weight you had to bear in silence. If she could speak to you now, really speak, she would hold your face in her hands and say, "I'm sorry for the moments I let fear steal my gentleness." More than anything, she wanted to say how proud she was, not just in the milestones you reached or
the successes you celebrated, but in the quiet ways you kept going. In the nights you cried and got up anyway. In the choices you made to be better, kinder, softer, even when the world gave you every reason not to be. You became more than she ever dreamed, and she's been cheering for you in every unseen moment. She wished she had more time, not to do grand things, but to sit with you in silence, to cook your favorite meal again, to hold your hand without needing a reason. She thought those moments would stretch on forever, and when they didn't, her biggest regret was not having the strength to say it all at once. But she's saying it now, in the stillness, in the signs, in the way your heart catches when you think of her. She never stopped loving you. She never stopped needing you. And she's still here, with the words finally free, reaching across the space between life and what comes after, whispering them into your soul. I love you. I'm sorry. I'm proud of you. Don't forget me, not because I'm gone, but because I'm still here.
It's in you, even when you're not thinking about her, even when you're just going about your day, grabbing keys, tying your shoes, letting your mind wander. She's there, not just in spirit, in rhythm, in instinct, in the very makeup of who you are. You carry her in your walk, in your patience, in the way your voice softens when someone is in pain. It's not mimicry, it's legacy. She passed down more than blood. She passed down fire. You've heard it before. People saying, you're just like your mother, maybe in passing, maybe with a gentle smile. And maybe it made you flinch once. Maybe it hurt, because hearing her name out loud still feels like a bruise being touched. But now, you're beginning to understand what they mean. It's not just resemblance, it's continuation. You're not just her echo, you're her evolution. There are moments when your strength surprises even you, when you hold your ground in a storm, when you find the courage to forgive someone who doesn't deserve it, when you comfort someone while your own heart is breaking. That's her. That's the quiet fortitude she lived by, now living through you. She planted seeds in you before you even knew what they were. The way you listen with your whole face, the way you worry at night for people you love, the way you fight, soft but fierce, for what you believe in. These are not random qualities. These are pieces of her soul, passed down carefully, as if she knew there would be a time when you'd need them. You carry her love, but you also carry her unfinished business. There were dreams she never had the time to chase, words she held back, healing she didn't get to reach. But none of it is lost, because you are here now, walking in the world she prepared you for, holding not just her memory, but her mission. You don't need to know all the steps yet. All you need to know is that something powerful is moving through you, something ancient, something maternal, something holy. You are not her second chance. You are her continuation. You've already honored her in ways you don't realize, in the people you've comforted, in the mistakes you learned from, in the moments you almost broke but chose to rise instead. And as you continue to become more fully yourself, you become more fully her. She's proud of what you've done, yes, but more than that, she's at peace knowing you are still becoming. The story isn't over. She left her love behind like a thread woven through your bones, stitched into your marrow, waiting to be remembered, not as a burden but as a blessing. You don't have to live her life, you just have to live yours, as someone who knows they were born from someone brave. There was a night that stayed with you, hasn't there? A night that felt different. Maybe it started like any other. You laid your head down, drifting into sleep with the heaviness of the day still lingering on your chest. But something pulled you deeper, beyond rest, beyond the surface of dreams. And when you woke, your face was wet with tears. You couldn't remember the details, only the feeling, a presence, a knowing, her. It wasn't just a dream. That was her reaching out. not in a fantasy conjured by your tired mind, but in the only language she has left to speak with you. In the realm of dreams, the veil between this world and the next grows thin. And when your mind finally quiets, your soul listens louder. That's why she came then, when you were most open, most unguarded, most willing to receive without demanding proof. You may have seen her face clearly, or maybe not. Maybe it was just a warmth, a silhouette, a soft voice calling your name like she used to when you were small. Either way, it stayed with you. It didn't fade like most dreams do. It etched itself into your memory like a fingerprint on glass. She's been visiting you there more often than you realize, sometimes in the form of strange symbols, sometimes in forgotten places from childhood, sometimes through people you don't recognize but feel completely safe around. All of it is part of her message, layered, symbolic, gentle, because she knows you need more than logic right now. You need connection. She's been offering it, night after night, waiting for you to start paying attention. You've been taught to dismiss your dreams, to wake up and brush them off as nonsense, to bury the parts that don't make sense in daylight. But dreams are where your soul writes letters it doesn't know how to send. And your mother has been writing to you with every flicker of light, every tear you didn't understand, every whisper that echoed inside your sleep. She's trying to prepare you. There's something coming. Not a warning of doom, but a pivot. A moment that will ask you to choose, not between good and bad, but between the life you've settled for and the life that's waiting to be lived. And in that moment, she wants her voice to be the one that rises inside you. Calm, steady, familiar. You are ready. I am with you. So the next time you feel her in a dream, don't run from it. Let her speak. Let her lead. Wake gently and write it down. Not everything will make sense at first, but trust that what you're being shown is sacred, because the dream was real, and your mother's message is already moving through your soul. She didn't tell you everything, not because she didn't trust you, but because some pain is too heavy to place on the ones we love. She wore a smile like armor, cooked meals like prayers, and carried the weight of generations in her spine. There were days she woke up already exhausted, but you never knew. Nights she cried in silence, careful not to let it echo through the walls. She fought battles you never saw, and some she never fully survived. There's a version of your mother the world never met, one that held her breath when the bills stacked too high, one that questioned her worth in the mirror when no one was looking, one that bore the burden of keeping everything together while quietly falling apart. She did it for you, for the home, for the name. But it cost her. And still, she never made you carry that cost. You might have sensed it, though, in the way she stared out windows longer than usual, in the sighs that came after long silences, in the way she'd brush off your concern with a half-hearted, "I'm fine." You were young, or maybe you were busy, or maybe you just didn't have the words back then to ask the right questions. She didn't blame you. She never did. She didn't need you to fix it. She just needed to keep going. And she did, until her body said it was time to rest. But now, from where she is, she wants you to know. She wants you to understand that what you saw was only the surface. Beneath it lived a storm of fears, sacrifices, and choices she made in silence. Not because she was ashamed, but because she believed her love meant shielding you from all that might dim your light. She carried the family's pain like it was her birthright. The trauma passed down through mothers before her, the silence, the endurance, the learned habit of disappearing so others could shine. She was taught not to take up too much space, to give until there was nothing left. And that's exactly what she did. But she doesn't want that for you. She's come now, not just to be remembered, but to be seen, to be known fully. And through that knowing, she wants healing. Not just for herself, but for you, for the future.
She's asking you to recognize what she carried so that you don't have to repeat it. Her battles don't have to become your inheritance. Let her pain become your wisdom, not your burden, because understanding her humanity doesn't weaken her memory. It honors it. She wasn't just a mother. She was a woman trying to survive while giving you everything she had. And now she's giving you her truth, not to weigh you down, but to finally set you both free.
It didn't start with her. The silence, the self-sacrifice, the quiet suffering passed down like a family heirloom. It began long before she ever had a name. It came from women who learned to hold their tongues, to swallow their sorrow, to make themselves small so others could thrive. Your mother inherited that weight, not because she wanted to, but because no one showed her another way. And yet, she dreamed of one for you. She didn't always have the words for it. She may have even reinforced it at times without meaning to, asking you to be polite when you wanted to roar, encouraging you to endure when you should have left, praising your selflessness when what you needed was space to breathe. She didn't do it out of malice. She did it because it was all she knew, because her own mother did the same, and hers before that. It was survival disguised as love. But love, real love, doesn't ask you to disappear. She sees that now. From where she stands, she sees the line stretching behind you, paved with worn-out hands and unshed tears. And she sees the line ahead too, a future that doesn't have to be shaped by that same tired grief. You are the first in generations with the power to stop it, to rewrite the script, to say, this ends with me. You don't have to become hard to be strong. You don't have to please everyone to be worthy. You don't have to carry it all just because you can. She carried the burden, hoping you wouldn't have to. She wanted more for you, even if she didn't know how to say it, even if her actions sometimes told a different story. She's asking you now to break the pattern, not by rejecting her, but by fulfilling the dream she couldn't. Be loud when you need to be. Rest without guilt. Cry without shame. Choose joy over duty. Choose yourself without apology. That's the revolution she never got to live, but always wanted for you. And if you feel afraid, if you worry that becoming free means becoming distant from her, know this: she is not the curse. She is the one who bore it so you could escape it. You honor her not by repeating her silence, but by finding your voice. You honor her not by suffering as she did, but by healing in ways she never had the chance to. This is not abandonment, it's liberation. It's what she would have done if someone had told her she could. And now she's telling you, it's time to be the first, not the strongest, not the most obedient, just the most free. That is her prayer for you now. They're still here, tucked into corners you pass every day. Her touch lingers not just in memory, but in the smallest things, in the chipped mug she always used, in the smell of a certain soap, in the hum of a lullaby she used to sing without even realizing. You might think they're just objects, sounds, smells, moments, but they're more than that. They're breadcrumbs she left behind, hoping they'd lead you home when the grief got too heavy. Because she knew this day would come, the day you'd be searching for her in the emptiness. She didn't have much time to leave grand gestures. There was no monument, no letter with all the answers. Instead, she wrapped her love in the details of your life. The way she folded your clothes just right, the way she double-checked the doors at night, the way her hand lingered a second longer on your back when you needed reassurance but didn't ask for it. She turned the ordinary into sacred ground. And now, the world around you is full of quiet relics. Every time you boil rice the way she taught you, every time you pause before speaking, just like she used to, every time you make a stranger feel seen without trying. That's her. That's her love living on through you, not as a memory, but as a rhythm, something that breathes with you, something you carry without even knowing. Grief plays tricks on the mind. It tells you that she's gone completely, that nothing remains,
But the truth is, she knew exactly how to stay. She poured herself into the daily things because she understood that one day those small things would be the only things that matter. The blanket she insisted on keeping, the sauce recipe without measurements, the way she tilted her head when she was listening. These are not just leftovers of a life lived, they're proof that she never truly left. And when you start to feel numb, when the pain of missing her threatens to turn you cold, come back to those gifts. Light the candle she used to like. Play the song she hummed when she was happy. Let her into the room again, not through memory, but through ritual. That's how she speaks to you now. Not in thunder or visions or dramatic signs, but in the gentle unfolding of an afternoon, the way sunlight hits a surface she used to clean, the way you catch yourself saying something she would have said. She's in all of it. She's teaching you still to pay attention, to look closely, to love the small things, because in the end, that's where she hid the best parts of herself, not in what she left behind, but in what she left within.
You didn't know it was the last time. That's how real goodbyes usually happen, not with warning, but with routine. A passing wave, a tired smile, a talk soon. There was no orchestra, no perfect closure, just the echo of normalcy that would soon become sacred. And when the silence settled in, it hit like a wave you didn't see coming. It pulled you under before you had the chance to prepare. Grief doesn't care about preparation. Maybe you tried to stay strong. Maybe you collapsed the second you were alone. Maybe the goodbye was peaceful, or maybe it was messy and incomplete. But it wasn't about how it happened. It was about what followed. The emptiness, the confusion, the aching wish for one more hour, one more sentence, one more breath shared in the same room. There were things you didn't say, words that stuck in your throat, heavy with regret. Or maybe you said too much, in fear or frustration, and now you carry the guilt like a bruise that never heals. You replay moments, dissect expressions, search for signs in the days leading up to it. But the truth is, she already knew. She knew you loved her. Even if the words got lost in the noise of life, she knew you were trying, that you had your own storms to weather, that sometimes love doesn't come out in poems or perfect gestures, but in showing up even when it's messy. And that's what you did. You showed up. Maybe not always in the ways you hoped, but you were there. And she saw you, all of you. The goodbye wasn't supposed to be perfect. It was supposed to be real. And in the days since, you've been searching for closure, for the chapter to end neatly so you can turn the page. But this kind of love doesn't end. It just changes shape. The goodbye was never a door shutting. It was a threshold, one you crossed without knowing, one that ushered in a new way of being with her, a quieter, deeper, more spiritual bond. And when you finally accepted that, when you stopped trying to force the pain to disappear, when you let the tears fall without shame, when you whispered, "I miss you," into the air, just because you gave yourself permission to begin again. The goodbye wasn't the end of her story in your life. It was the beginning of a different kind of presence, one that doesn't need a body to be felt, one that lives in memory, yes, but also in your strength, your softness, your voice, your choices. You finally said goodbye, but she never really left. She's not finished speaking. You may have thought that when she left this world, her role in your life ended, but souls like hers don't vanish, they transform. She's still here, still guiding, still whispering through the parts of you she helped shape. Every decision you wrestle with, every path you fear to take, she's closer than you think. Not as a voice echoing from the outside, but as a knowing that rises from within, because she planted seeds long before you knew what they were. The courage to try again after failing, that was her. The kindness you show strangers when no one's watching, that's her too. The way you catch yourself smiling at the sky when you feel alone, and somehow it makes you feel less so,
That's her saying, keep going. She's guiding you not with commands, but with reminders. Reminders of your strength, of your worth, of your right to live a full, unapologetic life. She didn't endure all she did, so you would play it safe. She wanted more for you, even when she couldn't give it to herself. And now, in this chapter, without her physical presence, she's rooting for you louder than ever. When the road ahead feels uncertain, when grief clouds your instincts, remember who raised you. Remember her resilience, her laughter in the middle of chaos, her insistence on hope even when life was hard. That spirit, it didn't leave. It lives on through your every breath. She's not asking you to be her. She's not asking you to carry her legacy like a heavy burden. She's asking you to live freely, bravely, fully, as a continuation of the love she poured into you. The life she's guiding you toward isn't one of perfection. It's a life where you forgive yourself, where you try, where you fall and rise and heal and laugh again and let joy in without apology. Even now, she's teaching you how to trust your own voice. She may no longer be the one holding your hand, but she is still the ground beneath your feet. And every time you choose growth over fear, every time you love without holding back, every time you create beauty in a world that often forgets to be kind, you walk a little closer to the life she dreamed you'd have. It's okay to miss her, but don't forget, she's still showing up for you, in synchronicities, in dreams, in gut feelings that seem to come from nowhere. She's not lost. She's leading, not from above, from inside you.
There's a lot you've been trying to hold on to. Her voice, her smell, the way she looked at you when she was proud, the way she tilted her head when she was worried. You try to capture it all in your mind like photographs you don't want to fade. But memory is slippery. Grief convinces you that forgetting even a small detail is a kind of betrayal, that if you let go of anything, you'll be letting go of her. But that's not how love works. That's not how she works. What you were meant to remember isn't tied to the perfection of every little thing she did. It's in the feeling she gave you. That feeling of being seen when you were invisible to the world. That feeling of safety, of being loved without condition, of knowing someone had your back no matter how lost you felt. That's what she left with you. That's what stays. You weren't meant to remember everything. You were meant to carry the best of her forward. The warmth of her hands may blur in your mind, but the warmth she left in your spirit, that doesn't go anywhere. The details may dim, but the impact glows. And in the moments when life gets heavy, when you feel like you're drifting far from who you thought you'd be, let that be your compass. She didn't want to be remembered for her sacrifices alone. She wanted to be remembered for how she made you feel like you mattered, for the way she believed in your light when you couldn't see it, for the small, stubborn hope she passed down when everything else felt like it was falling apart. That's her legacy, not just her story, but how she helped shape yours. And if you ever worry that you're forgetting too much, if you panic at the fading edges of her memory, know this: forgetting isn't failure, it's healing. It's your brain making space for living. And she would want you to live, not in a museum of what was, but in the messy, beautiful now of what is. You honor her by being present, by laughing again, by growing in the ways she didn't get the chance to. She didn't raise you to be a shadow, she raised you to become. And when you look in the mirror and see flashes of her eyes, her smile, her strength, that's no accident. That's the memory etched into your being, not your mind. It's permanent, sacred, untouched by time. So breathe, be gentle with yourself. She's not disappointed in what you've forgotten. She's proud of everything you've become. What you were meant to remember was never in the details. It was always in the love. You've heard it in pieces, felt it in waves, caught glimpses in dreams and memories, but the message she's been trying to send has always been the same. Gentle, steady, waiting for the moment when your heart was quiet enough to hear it clearly. You are not alone. Not now, not ever.
even in the silence that followed her absence, even in the nights you cried without making a sound, even in the moments when the world kept spinning as if nothing had changed and you felt like screaming at its indifference. She was there, not as a ghost haunting you, but as a soul holding you, watching, guiding, waiting for the right time to remind you of what was never broken. She didn't want to interrupt your grieving. She knew you needed space to ache, to rage, to fall apart. Love doesn't rush healing. It waits. And she waited, through your quiet breakfasts and your long walks and your restless sleep, for the day you could sit with the loss without trying to escape it. And now, here you are. Maybe you're still hurting. Maybe you always will in some quiet way, but you're ready now, not to move on, but to move forward, to open the envelope she left behind in the shape of your resilience, to read the words written not in ink, but in all the ways she loved you. You were always enough. She saw it, even when you didn't. She saw the fire in you when you felt like ashes. She saw the tenderness in you when the world asked you to harden. And she loved you, not for who you promised to become, but for who you were, even on your worst days, especially on your worst days. Her final message isn't a goodbye. It's a reminder that you are worthy of joy, that you are allowed to live without carrying guilt like a second skin, that you can laugh without feeling like you're leaving her behind, that you can love again, lose again, and love again still, because life is meant to be lived, not paused in memory. She didn't leave you with emptiness. She left you with the tools to build something new, something full of purpose, something that carries her forward, not as a burden, but as breath, as strength, as clarity when the road gets dark again. And when you forget, because you will, she'll remind you, in ways only you will understand, in moments that feel strangely warm, in thoughts that feel too wise to be your own, in quiet reassurances that come out of nowhere and yet feel exactly right. She waited to send this message until you were ready to receive it. You are ready now.
You survived the storm. Maybe not unscarred, maybe not unchanged, but you're still here, breathing, walking, remembering, becoming. The world kept turning, and somehow you did too. Not because the grief vanished, but because you learned to live with it. You stopped waiting for it to leave, and instead made space for it beside the joy. That's how healing works, not in erasure, but in integration. She's not a past tense in your story. She's a presence that keeps evolving. You don't need proof to feel her. You don't need signs to know she's near. But even so, you've had them. Those moments when the world grew quiet and something whispered, "Keep going." Those times when the right words came to you out of nowhere. When you laughed suddenly and thought, "She would have loved that." Those aren't coincidences. That's her, nudging you, walking with you, never really gone. She's in the parts of you that grew softer, kinder, wiser. She's in the boundaries you finally learned to set because she taught you what love looks like and what it doesn't. She's in the choices you make now with more courage, in the way you comfort others because you know how deep sorrow can run. She's in your instincts, your gut, the deep, unshakable knowing that somehow you're being guided, not by logic, by love. And every time you doubt yourself, every time you think you're not enough or that you're too broken to keep going, think of her. Think of how she saw you, even at your lowest. Think of what she endured to give you this life. Not so you'd suffer quietly, but so you'd live boldly, fully, unapologetically. And if you can't do it for yourself yet, do it for her. Until one day, you'll realize you've become someone she'd be proud of, and someone you're proud of too. This isn't the end of her story. It's a continuation, through you. You carry her legacy in the most sacred way possible, not by retelling every detail, but by being someone who radiates the essence of her love. The kind of love that heals without condition. The kind that holds space for grief and joy at the same table.
the kind that never demands, but always shows up. She's still with you when you make mistakes and forgive yourself anyway. She's with you when you open your heart again, even after heartbreak. She's with you when you whisper thank you into the wind and somehow feel it whisper back. She's with you when you sit in silence and find peace instead of pain. She's with you, not just in memory, in momentum, in meaning, in every step you take toward becoming someone more whole, more free, more real. That was her final gift, not a goodbye, but a new beginning. Not an end, but an invitation to live in a way that honors everything she gave and everything you still have. So walk forward, not with sorrow, but with strength.
If you have come this far, it is crucial that you watch this next video here. But be warned, it is not for the faint of heart, for only the true chosen ones can handle this video. If you would like to also donate to help keep the channel going, our Buy Me a Coffee link will be in the description.